This is Jeanette with Stardust and Moonlight Reborn Dolls. And before your little eyes is Miss Leah, full body silicone doll. And she was sculpted, painted, and rooted by the magnificent artist who made her, Minnie by Manook. So I actually bathed her last night and washed her hair. And I left her just as you see her now because, to be honest with you, this is how I prefer my silicones. Seeing them in their natural state with a diaper, no clothes required. You know, the silicone feels like skin. They look so realistic this way. I'll do a little close-up of her. And it's just amazing. But we'll put some clothes on her today because I wanted to kind of jump off of another topic that's related to another video I did. I asked, hey, what are you in it for? Are you in it for the dolls or are you in it for the community? And the consensus was pretty much both, which I agree with. And, you know, the whole idea behind it, you guys, was like, if there was no community, if there were no avenues of interacting with collectors through social media, would you still be as active and engaged in this hobby if it was just you enjoying your collection on your own? And I think that's a really hard thing to imagine, but I wonder if we would be as enthusiastic about collecting dolls if there weren't others to share it with. And I think for most of us in that case, it wouldn't be so. We have this community. We have a wide net of options with sharing our collection or sharing our art as a reborn artist. And it really helps fuel all of our passion for this hobby. It's so great to be able to share the dolls in our collection. And it's so great to be able to, experience other people's collections. But what got me thinking was, is there a downside to this? Because it creates pressure. And I know it's a vulnerable topic, but I'm just curious what some of you may think. So I will dive in myself. And I will be honest with you, as a collector, I have seen dolls that were really hard to pass up. And I think as you try to talk yourself out of it or into it, whatever the case is, there is an element that comes to light, and that is, wow, if I had this doll, what would others think? Wow, if only I get this doll and I can share it with other people. I can post pictures of this doll and I can claim this doll as mine. I think that plays into this hobby so much, if we're honest with ourselves. And I hate to admit that has taken place in my own mind as I, shared my collection here and there, but I think it does. It's like kind of like a status symbol thing, right? Like, wow, I got this doll, this amazing doll. And I think that can be kind of a dangerous thing. And so, if we tell ourselves, hey, if I get this doll, would I enjoy it just as much as I think I will if I never get to share it? If I just have it sitting on display or sitting in a room looking magnificent, picking up once in a while, would I be satisfied with that? So I wonder what you guys think. Have you ever thought about how much the community has created some kind of pressure for you in terms of your collection, your choices in buying dolls, and also, trying to fit in like a niche of certain groups of collectors or certain classes, so to speak, of, collectors. There are some people that have some, modest collections of dolls, And there are some people who tend to have what one can only surmise as highly expensive dolls that have ultra realistic painting and details. And I think it's sad, but it's just a part of human nature that we're kind of judged and we're kind of put into those classes or categories of collectors. And I think sometimes as our tastes in collecting and in this hobby evolve or change, because they don't necessarily evolve, sometimes we just simply change in our preference of painting style and you know, things like that. But I think as that happens, you know, sometimes as our collection changes, we notice that we are being kind of, I don't know, thrown into a new group of collectors, or viewed or perceived as a different kind of collector. I mean, there's so many layers to this, right? And what it comes down to, and what makes it so fascinating, is that it really is human nature. There's nothing like odd or different about the things that we come across in this hobby or the challenges we have that isn't had elsewhere. I know many of you can relate. When you come into this hobby, at first, I mean, you get it. You get that these are art dolls. They're incredible. They're you know, valuable and all of that. But you look at a doll and you think, $350? Holy cow, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, should I do this? Should I not do this? And as you get deeper into this hobby, like you get more give and more give. So you're not as shocked anymore by a $600 doll when 6 months ago you would have never considered a $600 doll. Then you see $1,100 dolls and you're like, okay, we're getting to the pricey range, but I could still do that. I could still see that that's reasonable. Isn't it crazy how that happens? I mean, how do we regulate? How do we regulate all of these things and realize what is best for us? And how much does the pressure of this hobby, this community, come into play? I mean, have you ever thought about it? Have you ever really given it the fair consideration that it deserves? Have you thought, wow, if I post this doll, or if I'm known as this doll's owner, I'm going to be, you know, considered really lucky, or I'm going to be admired, or I'm going to be, you know, propelled into a new group of collectors. It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing. And ultimately, you know, it's all about us. It's all about what we're comfortable with. And we have to take in consideration what is the right way to approach all of it, you know? We have to understand that pressure can get to us. And it's gotten to me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to come on here and lie to you. So hopefully this gives you some thought. If you're one of those people who are thinking, you know, I have noticed lately that I've pushed myself into buying a doll just because it's sheer, you know, popularity. Maybe this artist posted this doll and it has 300 likes and 500 comments about how beautiful it is and how people wish they could get it, and oh my gosh, she's amazing. And you let that pressure get to you and inform your buying decision. When in reality, if you were thinking logically, you probably wouldn't have done it. And then, boom. Because we all fall. We all have hiccups and we all give into pressure. But if I feel like if you don't address that, and when I say you, I mean you, me, all of us, your tolerance level increases and increases and increases. And so I think if we don't address those moments of making decisions based on things we probably wouldn't want to, then it's more likely that things will get even more out of hand later. Think about like, whoa, yeah, when do we lasso ourselves back in and take a look at like where this hobby is taking us and how much the community affects us and either inadvertently or purposely pressures us. This little one, she really wasn't a purchase that relates to what I'm talking about now. For her, I was smitten when I saw her being made. I was smitten and sad when I saw that she was sold. And then I was able to get her from the person who bought her. And it was not the most deliberate decision or planned decision. I will totally admit to that. But I got her without thinking about, oh, wow, when I post her, you know, others are going to be so shocked by her beauty, or I can't wait to be able to claim her as mine and share her with others. I'm really glad to say that that wasn't an aspect at all. It was really about, this little one is so intriguing and I really want to see her in person. And ever since I've had her for almost a year, I've been pretty smitten the entire time. She's a fantastic art doll. Fantastic. So realistic. Just, you know, such a beautiful expression of artistic talent. And I've really enjoyed her. So, yeah. I think if I were to have purchased her with the thought of impressing the masses, I probably would not have been able to enjoy her the way that I have. But I'm not saying I haven't done that or that I haven't made a decision on a doll for that reason. And that's why I'm making this video. I think it's a truthful confession that most of us can make. So hopefully this gives you food for thought. And on that note, I'm going to go, and I hope to see you guys soon. Quick note about my giveaway. Just keep in mind, I'm so glad all of you are excited, but I'm not entering people yet. Our first step is to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then once we do that, I will have all the instructions on how to be entered into my giveaway. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.